About a month ago, I made a small video calling out for people to send me OCs. Well, thank you all for waiting, for I will be trying out 9 different apps and use my precious time to figure out which one could be the best for you with your guys' OCs. Instead of going through all the boring reviews, you can stake it all on some random YouTuber. How fun! Going over some super fast points, this was made on my iPad with an Apple Pencil. This is all my opinion and are just some inputs I found in coming out of my cave of Procreate, Ibis Paint, Krita, and Clip Studio to some new softwares. With that, sit back, grab some food and or your drawing materials of choice, and let's get into this mess. For the first app that we are trying, it is called Freeform. From what I know of, this is a app already installed on any iPad. I may be lying, but from what I know of, it comes already installed on your tablet of choice. The OC that I will be drawing for this one was submitted by Hammy the Wolf on Insta. When they submitted it, I asked them to give me a little bit of a description of their OC, and this is what they told me. She is a part of a species called hybrids, commonly referred to as half-halves, half human and half wolf. Her appearance is a little different than most because she was supposed to be a weapon for the human government in a war for the humans and hybrids. However, the couple who gave birth to the weapon were supposed to give her back when they got paid by the government for carrying such a dangerous baby, but they didn't. And now they are hiding her, and the government is attempting to track her down. Her name is Amanda, and she is usually referred to as Demon because she occasionally has violent blackouts from being a weapon. When I first read this got really interesting really fast, and I would like to hear more about her, but that is just everything that she gave me for now. As for the app that I was drawing her on, I didn't have anything for a full body. I mainly got a headshot and that was it. So I kind of had to go off of her vibe of just her hoodie and her hair. Going into the app, I've already used it every so often, though it was mainly for notes. I would sometimes doodle in it, but I never really thought of doing so. However, the tool variety was okay, and it's different canvases. I'm putting that in quotes because I don't know what else to call it, but basically you could choose between lined or dotted or a blank page, which was strange to me at first. But when I started drawing on it, I knew it would already be a little difficult, but I didn't know in what sense. My main problems came in halfway through when it would start glitching on me. I don't know if this happened to anybody else using this app, but every so often while I'm drawing, chunks of it would just disappear. If I zoomed in or zoomed out, chunks of it would be gone. Sometimes all of it would be gone, and I would be scared that somehow it just erased itself. There's no layers, and it's not very usable because when you don't really have layers and you try and draw over whatever you've already created, like a sketch, it gets really messy and it looks unfinished. It wasn't very fun to use, and it's better for notes than drawing. Overall, I gave it a 3 out of 10. I could only work with it for so long before I just gave up. I tried decently to make at least the face look okay, but it didn't really turn out as well as I wanted to. However, we're going to pick that drawing up and put it into our collection, and we're going to move on to the next one. Going into our next app is a good old classic that I'm sure everyone has used and or have heard of, Ibis Paint. For this one, the OC submitted was by, I'm going to butcher this so bad and I am so sorry, Ribisquit, something like that. It's on the screen because I don't actually know how to say it. For their OC, they submitted 4 drawings and I chose their OC Vetch. They didn't give me a full description, they just gave me a reference sheet, which I'm not mad about, but also I would have liked to know more about your OCs. They look very pretty and cute, and I need to know if they are all in a little story if you're even watching this. Anyways, they are 5 foot. I don't know what gold blood means, but the gold blood, an anomaly in humanoid form. I'm just reading off of their reference sheet. Ibis Paint, it's a classic. I feel like everybody knows about it or has heard about it at some point. The only things I have to complain about are the ads. It's not just the up top ads, you know, with that classic anime boy stare. No, it's always having to watch a long ad just for 8 hours of uses of all their brushes. I remember back in the day, you would watch an ad and you would get like 24 hours for all their brushes. And it wasn't even like a 10-second ad. But we're not gonna get into my gripes about that. I do, however, want to say that on the topic of brushes, it's very easy importing brushes from different creators. If you were to go on Pinterest and search up Ibis paint brushes, all you have to do is take a picture of the barcode and import that picture into Ibis paint, and all of a sudden you have a new brush, which was great. I abused the heck out of that. For being such a accessible app that is made for this sort of thing, I do think that just a few, like a minute or so of ads is not the worst thing in a drawing app. And I use it still sometimes after 8 years. It's one of my top choices. Am I biased? Maybe, but I still give it an 8 out of 10. Some may know what I'm about to get into. Roblox has a lot of games on its platform, and not surprisingly, this also included drawing games. As someone that plays Roblox and also someone who happens to be an artist, I am not a stranger to these 3 games I'll be going over, and one of them you could find me on very often. The first drawing game that we're going to get into is called Free Draw. The first OC I will be drawing is submitted by Apple Infesting on Insta. When I joined, I did get sidetracked. Yes, this is important. And when I was doing said side quest, I wanted to become familiar with the mechanics. They weren't looking pretty. Not only did drawing over existing lines not work unless you were on a completely different layer, but also if you drew multiple lines too fast, this annoying text would pop up and you couldn't draw for a good few minutes. But soon after, they left the server, and anyways, after finding a good place to start drawing, I quickly realized that whatever was going on wasn't going to work. Sure enough, the same annoying things would happen, and I only have enough patience for about 30 minutes. So sadly, with how amazing this piece of art was, which, like, really, they submitted this, and I thought, I didn't know what to think. It was, that's all that was going through my head was, So whoever's OC this is, I am so sorry. I could have done better if I was in a better drawing app. But like, I couldn't deal with it. I'm sorry, I failed. This was probably one of my least favorite pieces out of the mix. If not, I want to say my least favorite app, but it's not. We're gonna get into that soon enough. But it's a 3 out of 10. Draw and donate. The OC I will be drawing is submitted by Dante.20_ on Insta. When I load up the game, you can clearly see a drawing I had already done. I am in fact familiar with this game because it's one of my favorites. This is the game I play very often. I find it easy to use and very understandable for someone just starting out. Even though you can't import images or color pick, I have my ways. There have also been a lot of improvements. A lot of mechanics since I joined have been upgraded or even added. They didn't used to have layer or canvas sizes for a hot minute, but however, after drawing for a straight hour or so, this started happening. My screen froze on the canvas and I couldn't do anything but draw even though I knew my game was trying to load, hence the Running Man. But with no way to save it with how far I came, I just prayed and hoped it wouldn't boot me out and I would have to start all over again. Luckily, after a few minutes, everything loaded correctly, and you bet I saved so fast. Sadly, I can't talk much about this OC because he gave me no description whatsoever. He just kind of handed her over to me. However, when he did so, she kind of reminded me of Pinkie Pie. I don't know if it was just because of her color palette, but the whole time in my head I was like, is this Decora Pinkie Pie? All in all, I like this game and how it works. 9 out of 10. And for the last Roblox game, we are going to be going into spray paint. The OC I will be drawing is submitted by Emmy, I'm guessing. What they have as their name, so. There's not a lot to say about this game. I don't know what I did, but I had it to where when I loaded in, I couldn't see other people's drawings, but it didn't matter. Found a nice spot on a wall and started painting. Can I say that? I want to know why. It feels wrong. I didn't want the background of the brick wall, so I started with making a white rectangular background, like a canvas, and then just started going at the pose, totally blind. While I do the poses, I will tell you a little about this OC. Name is Gaia. This is their first OC. She was recently created. They say they're not very creative, so I hope she appears in your video to see what you think about her. Well, I hope you're still around for this. She made it into the video. Her hair kind of reminds me of Gotcha, along with her eyes, along with her sweater, but I don't know if that's just me. I gave her a little pose with peace signs and a huge smile on her face while winking because I just thought it was a cute pose. With the way she was already posed in the reference picture, I thought it fit perfectly. She's very, very green. I couldn't color pick for this one, so I tried as best as I could to just eyeball it, so I hope that's okay. And I almost forgot about her choker. I also wanted to know if this is supposed to say anything. It looks like it should be a word, but I'm not entirely sure, so I'm not going to totally assume that it is, but I want to know. Elle, can I just call you Elle? Elle, if you're watching this, I need to know, is that supposed to say something? Or is that like is it a made-up language that you made? I want to know. Anyway, surprisingly with this game, it wasn't as hard to work with as in Redraw. I thought it would be because with the way that it works, yes, you had to pay if you wanted to go any bigger than a certain pixel or so, which I found very strange, but it has a good erase button, and even though it's more pixelated, it's actually very, very easy to use and kind of pretty accessible. Not to mention the layers. I love when games or anything really has actual layers. I become dependent on layers? Maybe.
Editing Kaya here, so some of the footage got deleted somehow. I'm not exactly sure how I ended up missing it, or maybe I deleted it. I don't entirely know, but I did draw someone's OC. Here it is, and it's going to be in these next few panels with everybody else's OC. I just don't have the footage for that. So basically, the clip notes of the app that I was using called Amber Draws is that it wouldn't be my recommended app for drawing on because it's mainly for animating, I'm gonna put that in quote, animating purposes. So don't recommend it. I give it a like 4 out of 10. Only use it for like in dire circumstances sort of thing. Okay, moving on to the next one. Sorry.
For the next app that we're going to be trying out, it's called Sketchbook. I have heard of this app before, however, I've never tried it. For the OC, I will be drawing this mouse submitted by Thea V. Romanov. I'm sorry if I butchered that absolutely terribly, aka Vile or Veal on Insta. This mouse has a very interesting story. The first thing she told me was, first of all, she gave me a bit, like 3 of her characters to choose from, but this mouse caught my attention the most. She said, "He sells candy during the day, and don't worry about the mafia during the night." In which she then gave me 2 amazing drawings of him with just this, I don't know if I'm water guns. She showed me photos of him with water guns. It caught me a little off guard. How is this cute, sweet little mouse going to be handling water guns? The only things I could really get down about this app was it has a good selection of tools, and again, the app is made for drawing, so it basically has everything that you need. And the one thing I love about this, at least I haven't come across, is there are no ads. Although you have to pay for certain things, but I didn't realize that there was anything you needed to pay for until I actually started exploring the app. They still give you plenty of free variety and endless layers. And also there's a built-in time lapse that I didn't know about until about the end of the drawing. The only gripe I have about this app is the selection tool. It was hard to use. All around, it's a good choice, and this is the first 10 out of 10 I will be giving out, mainly because there are no ads that I came across, at least. On to our 8th app called Pixquare. I found this app not through searching it on the Apple Store. I actually found this from another YouTuber. I don't know her name at the moment, but if I'm able to find her, this is her name. This is the video that inspired me actually for this video. I also couldn't find the person that submitted this OC, so please let me know if you claim this OC. If this OC is yours, please let yourself be known so I am able to credit you properly. I'm so sorry. As for Pixquare, first of all, when you first open the app, no ads, no AI, and no subscription. Immediately, that gives me the most serotonin I've ever had about an app so far. All features are available in the free version, starting with 2 files. Pixar was, is, and will always be shaped by users for users. I'm sorry if that sounded far away because I was reading it from my own video and it was very blurry for a second. So, immediately I got a good feeling about this app, but then as soon as I opened my own file to start drawing, I started panicking. I didn't know how anything worked. Off of a first glance, I don't think this is very accessible for people that don't understand what's going on. It took me a good, maybe 5 minutes to understand what was happening, because apparently it also has an animation software. Ask me how I found that out, because I kept trying to add a layer and instead apparently I was just adding frames for a non-existent animation. Even though this is mainly for pixel art, you can have pretty clean lines once I figured everything out. They even have opacity and blend mode, which was shocking. And get this, it lets you import images for reference. I'm only saying this out of shock because I didn't expect that much from this app. I knew it was okay, mainly because I've already seen people use it outside of YouTube, once or twice, but I didn't know it was of this great of quality. It's easy to use and can be slightly difficult to understand, but it has a horrible time-lapse recall. After drawing everything, I went in to see if it had a time-lapse of its own, and I found it, and this is what it looked like. I mean, I guess I couldn't ask that much of this app, I guess. My bad. So I'm just glad I recorded my screen. All in all, with the horrible screen recording, but the amazing values of this app, and the absolutely amazing quality that it is for this app, I give it a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Okay, we're about to get real serious about this. Canvas Max. The OC that I attempted to draw was submitted by Sienna Art on Insta, and putting this all out there right now, flat out, without a doubt, my least favorite. I wanted to do better on the drawing, but I just couldn't deal with the software for more than 20 minutes. Generously 20 minutes. You had to pay for everything. Like, you had to pay for almost everything besides the bare minimum. The bare necessities. And I mean bare, I am putting based into this. Bare minimum. Because layers were locked along with select tool, inserting images, inserting text, and also exporting your work. Not to mention, you apparently have a limit to how many canvases you can make. I have seen people with these absolutely god-smackable artworks using Canvas Max, and they would just zoom in and keep zooming in and keep zooming in to absolute masterpieces. But I will not pay for what I fear should also be deemed as bare necessities. It's $24.99, and it says it's $24.99 for a lifetime, but if you're gonna pay that, you might as well pay for Procreate. You wanna know how much Procreate was? $10. It's not even monthly. That is a one-time purchase. $10 for Procreate. Wow, what is this? I'm genuinely asking, what the f***? Not to mention that apparently in Canvas Max, you can't tilt your canvas. You gotta work on your work straight on, and I can't work like that. Probably that's why all of my drawings are slightly slanted to the left. Flat out, non-negotiable, 0 out of 10. And into our last app. I know, it's been a long video. I am so sorry. I'm trying to cut it down as much as possible, but I don't know if I can. Medibang? Medibang? Something like that. And the OC I will be drawing was submitted by Mitchell, I don't know. This is their name. I'm sorry. I probably butchered so many names, and I'm sure everybody is laughing at me right now, but it's fine. All they gave me for their OC is her name is Isabel, and she is 14 years old. She's pretty shy and timid, but has been training to become a fighter and has fire-bending abilities. She looks so cool. I needed to draw her. So immediately getting into Medibang, I hated how the interface looked. It looked cheap and gross, and every part of my being hated being in the app. And when I tell you, this app is rigged full of ads. They are even worse than Ibis pain. I don't know what to tell you. Ads. Many ads. It does have a built-in time-lapse, but again, I didn't find it till later. And the one thing that bothered me most was the screen would get stuck and I couldn't move it certain ways. I don't know how to explain it, but I would be stuck on one part and then I would zoom out and then I would try to zoom back in on the part, but it would zoom into another part instead. And I couldn't fix the canvas, so I kept just having to try and zoom in on a way different part of where I needed it to be to just get it in frame again. However, with some downs, there are a few ups. There were many brushes, more than I thought there would be. But get this, you still had to watch an ad to unlock them. Overall, it's an okay app. There's no glitching, there's no chunks being lost to the eraser.
Stop the cap.
There's the bare minimum being available to you without having to pay for it. I'm looking at you, Canvas Max. You will forever be my enemy. It's not my first choice, but it's overall an okay app. So for that, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. So, at the end of the day, what are my top choices in order? Number 1, Ibis Paint.
Yes, I am biased.
Number 2, Sketchbook. And number 3, Draw and Donate. I know, I get it. Okay, listen, it's a game. I get it. I understand. There's very little, listen, it's a good app. You just gotta trust.
And with that, we finished the video. Yes, this is a completely different day of recording the outro than the days that all of these were recorded. Because I take forever, apparently. I started planning this out in July, and it's September, almost October. I'm so sorry, y'all. And I remember people were like, hey, where's the thing? And I was like, I'm working on it. I wasn't fully lying, I was. And I thought about just scrapping this entire video, but then I was like, wait, I drew people's OCs and they probably want to see those, so thank you for your patience. Okay, I love you. I hope you guys have a good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in this world, and I hope you guys stay safe. Okay, bye!